Yo, what up? It's the Pickleball Lab Coaching Podcast. Hey, man, what's going on?
What's going on, man? How are you?
Good. So I think you ended up finding a fourth for tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I got someone to play tomorrow, which is good.
Okay.
Thanks for thinking about
Cool.
it. At night's gonna start sometime. So
Yeah. Are you playing tonight?
I played this morning, 7 to 9 a.m.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
tomorrow, and then Wednesday, and then I'm off the rest of the week.
Gotcha. They've got that advanced open play tonight. Have you done that at the Pickler?
Is it the Noblesville one, the Elite?
Yeah.
No, I've seen
The
some good
Elite.
names sign up for it. Yeah. I've seen some good names sign up. Have you done it?
Yeah, I did it once. I think it's really good if I mean this is good advice for anyone really. I used to kind of avoid open play the higher level that I got because I was like I'd rather just set up games. But
Right.
open play is a really good opportunity to go and work on stuff. There's like zero pressure, or not zero, but there should be less pressure to perform. Like when you have a foursome, you're like, all right, I really want to beat these guys, or I really want to impress someone, or whatever. Open play is open play. It's like no big deal, especially if you play down in open play. Number one, a lot of people actually like you playing with them because you give them a little bit of a challenge, right? And I guess there's some people who would get annoyed by it, but I don't ever really notice anyone get annoyed. I just notice people like excited. In open play, I always wanted like a really good player to play because I wanted to play that player. Right. And so when you're playing down like half a level or something, you don't have to worry about trying to win. You might win anyway, you might lose, because a tennis instructor told me one time that in doubles, and it makes sense, it's true in pickleball, the worst player on the court is the team that's going to lose. It doesn't matter where the best player on the court is. It only matters where the worst player on the court is. So you might still lose. And that used to really frustrate me. I only say that to tell people don't get frustrated if you don't win. It doesn't mean you're not a good pickleball player. It's just, just because you're a good player doesn't mean you're going to win. There's three other players on the court. Right. But I think using open play to play half a level down, as long as it's not pissing people off, I think it's a great thing to like go there and work on stuff. And it won't probably make anyone upset if you're going there and working on things, because you're not going to be very good at those things, right? So for me, I'm working on positioning right now. So I can go, not worry about serve, not worry about return. When we get to the kitchen, I can just literally focus on my positioning at the kitchen. Right now I'm working on being outside of the guy's shoulder. So my shoulder here, the other guy's shoulder in front of me and on the inside, so that they have a really hard time getting my chicken wing. I can go do that, and I don't worry if someone speeds up at me, because I can probably handle that speed up because I'm playing half a level down, right? So like my brain can like just kind of relax. What do you think about that?
No, I mean, yeah, I think that's super good stuff. I mean, I need to probably get into more open plays. I can't tell you the last time I've been in an open play. Just reserving courts all the time. The only thing I don't love about the open play is just like the waiting around. Like, it's the only thing, because I like playing like the whole 2 hours. So we can get like 8, 9 games in 2 hours. Just depends on how long the matches are. But open play, I just feel like, were you waiting around a bunch, or was it
no? But that's a good point. I think most people will be. Noblesville has like 20 courts. Right. So like you can, like, there's just so many courts available. But in general, in open play, I could see that being a problem. Yeah. When I played with you the other night, we played 8 games. Hey guys, allow me a quick break to tell you about the Pickleball Lab. If you're ready to stop guessing with things like YouTube and local coaches and actually progress in your pickleball game, the Pickleball Lab is for you. We combine expert, structured online video courses and direct coaching feedback from me with a supportive community of players just like you at your exact level. Get the lessons, the coaching, and the support you need to finally level up. Join us at pickleballab.co/lab, or find the link in the show notes, and let's grow your game together. It's 9 games. We played 9 games. Now we did play for 2.5 hours, which I rarely do, but like we had finished basically 8 games, I think, by the 2-hour marker, maybe 7.
I think we did 8. Like we finished our 8th, and then we had to do the 9th to like make it 3 games a team.
Yeah. So that's so many games, dude. That's so many games.
They were good games. I mean, the 6 out of the 9 were all by 2 points.
Yeah.
11-9 or 12-10.
Yeah,
So
when we play, like there's days where we don't get through 6 games. Or we get through the 6th game.
yeah,
I'd say 7's our max, and when we play 9, I was like, "Dang, that's crazy." Especially for how long everything went. Anyways, probably a good time to move on. Oh, I think you had a question for me about something.
oh yeah, yeah. So what's going on with your all your coaching stuff? Are you still doing it? Are you,
Oh, yeah,
still
that's right.
out there? Yeah, what's going
Yeah,
on?
yeah, yeah. So I'm still coaching at IPC, and that's pretty much it. I only coach on court now to supplement the Pickleball Lab, the virtual coaching. The more I can coach on court, the better of a coach I think I am. And I'm only coaching people that are like really long-term students.
Yep.
So that I can continue to build my knowledge. So I'm avoiding coaching people that only want to take like 1 or 2 lessons. Nothing wrong with that. It's just I can't get better as a coach if that's the majority of what I'm doing. And so I've actually dialed way back my on court stuff. I probably only coach about 6 hours a week on court, so I can mostly focus on the lab. So yeah.
Are you still doing like beginner group coaching sessions or?
No, that was a ton of fun. I just get interested in different things. So I was doing those beginner clinics for like a really long time. That was a lot of fun. And I just decided I wanted to get more in the technical aspect, more the weeds. I wanted to see people progress. I love those two things. I love introducing people to the game, and I love helping people progress. And so I think in life, like, well, let's not go down that road, but like to be motivated, I think like I need some type of intellectual stimulus. And the intellectual stimulus for the beginner clinic was I wasn't necessarily the best at running them in the beginning. I wanted to be the best at running them. And so I just got my script down and my flow and like how I did it. And like people were like, "Oh man, this is awesome." And I was like, "All right, cool." But I don't have any intellectual stimulus past that. The intellectual stimulus is for the beginner clinic was just getting really good at it. The intellectual stimulus for coaching on court is getting really good at it, but also like I'm not challenged in growing my knowledge of how to tell people how to play pickleball. There's a cap on that, right? Like
Yeah,
you tell people how to play and that's it. But like explaining things, thinking about new things, like right now we're doing a lot of swing, like technical swing analysis. And so like just breaking down people's swing and then also teaching like there's just a higher level of stimulus for me on that.
nice. So of course we're in Indianapolis, but it sounds like what you offer can be kind of nationwide. So can you just like wrap up like what the Pickleball Lab can do? Like if someone's watching this and they want to get better, like what services can you provide and like help them out with?
Yeah, so you guys can go to pickleball.lab.co and check it out. But basically, we offer coaching through online courses. The idea is that there's online courses to learn aspects of the game, and we break down all of our courses in levels. So 2.0 to 3.0, 3.0 to 3.5, 3.5 to 4.0, etc. And so you're learning at your level, right? And then we make everything at that level. So 2.0 to 3.0 we make everything kind of build on itself. So serves first, then return. Like we're very thoughtful in how we approach even inside of that. So you learn a lesson. That's the first part. Like you watching videos to learn, right? Then we have a practice schedule for you. So you go out and actually develop that skill. We tell you how many reps to do, exactly what drill to do. It's a video drill, so you can follow right along. Then we have coaching on top of that. So you can actually interact with me personally on there through chat, through video, through live stream. And so like we're just trying to help people learn, practice, get feedback, repeat, learn, practice, feedback, get repeat, that kind of thing. And the reason I like doing that is I'm just helping a lot more people. I was just ended up coaching like the exact same stuff over and over and over, and it wasn't fun for me. And it was also really cost prohibitive for a lot of people. The lab, as of this taping, you can get all the courses for just $40 a month. The coaching's 80. Like you get for 80, you get the courses and the coaching, and then there's another one where you can do one-on-one private, which is much more expensive. But I mean, that way, like you're getting really high level quality coaching without having to pay a lot of money for a private instructor. And so I just thought it was way more repeatable that way and easier for people to absorb financially.
So is a part of this process like reviewing film of them?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for
And then
sure.
you just give feedback on what rec games or their drills or whatever that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it would be more hey, I did the practice thing. Here's where I'm at. Let me know if I'm good to move on, or here's where I'm at. Make sure I'm doing the right thing, or that kind of thing. So you can go to the chat channel and for your level, upload a clip, and then write your questions. We'll review the clip, and then we'll give you the answer to your question. And then the live stream, which is what people really should join. They can jump in, and I'll do it with them live, so they can ask questions in real time. They can submit film, that kind of thing. And then our highest tier, you get an hour with me a month, where it's just you and I. You're not fighting for space in the live stream, right? So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I saw you did the live stream yesterday. So
Yeah.
that's a part of your community and like active members, and they're like reviewing film with you. Is that right?
Yeah, so the Q&A stream is free. It's public, so we have a free tier of the Pickleball Lab as well, so you can check that out. And then each level has their own live stream weekly as well. And the idea is that you're paying for it, right? So there's less people on there, and you don't have to fight for space as much.
Nice.
Yeah, because on the Q&A stream, like it's because it's public, we could have like 30 people in there. We might not even be able to get to your question, you know?
Oh, okay. Cool. I mean, yeah. I mean, pickleball is growing every single day. So I mean, I started out with getting lessons and doing like beginner stuff, and it really helps you out, like build a good foundation. Why do you do what you do? I mean, other than loving pickleball, like why did you start this and like going down this whole journey?
Yeah, so I just got bored of doing my other job. And I was a digital marketer, and I still run that, but it takes like an hour a week. I just got really bored of that, and I was like, I want to do something different. Pickleball came along. I had a lot of free time, and I was like, you know what? Let me invest in this. And then as I started playing, I was like, man, I'm really nerdy about this. I watch my film, I catalog my errors, like I create drills for myself. I go watch YouTube to see if there's better drills. I keep my stats to see like, am I improving in this drill or not? And so I progressed really rapidly from there. And then people started noticing, or like, hey, will you coach me? And so then now I had like a dual challenge, right? Make myself better, but I can communicate well with myself. Can I communicate those concepts to other people? And I know myself, I know what works best for me. Can I change those concepts for those people as well for what works best for them? So it's just like an intellectual challenge. And I was like, dang, I really want to try it. And so I've been trying it. And then I guess the most recent challenge is not having to rely on location. Right, like you have to be in Indy to take an on-court lesson,
Right.
and then not relying on like teaching fundamentals over and over and over and making it more cost effective. And so that's why the lab was a thing. It's like, wait, this is way more cost effective. I can put it on video. You don't have to have one-on-one time with me, which is expensive or relatively expensive. And you can just like it's just a way more cost effective, efficient way to do it,
Yeah.
basically. Yeah.
You love doing it?
Oh, dude, absolutely. So it's just another challenge of like building a business, but just trying to help people get better at the same time. So
For sure. I'm
yeah,
sure you see a lot
absolutely
of
love it.
like good aha moments or people raise their duper or win tournaments for the first time. And I'm sure that's
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
Really, my favorite is like watching them in games, like do stuff like top spin or like a drop or like a third shot drop, fifth shot or a third shot drive, fifth shot drop combo. And like they get up to the kitchen and you're just like, let's go, like hit a reset when they didn't even really know what a reset was necessarily. So yeah, that's really rewarding and a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
man.
awesome, man.
Cool. Well, why don't we jump into some questions?
There's some good questions here, man. I don't know
Let's
if you'll
do
be
it.
able to answer all these.
I'll
Uh,
I'll do my best.
let's see what we got here. So it always seems like there's people are getting new partners
Yeah.
in tournaments, which I think is cool. I think there used to be kind of a thing back in the day where like you kept your same partner always.
Right.
And then now I'm seeing it kind of evolve where like people are showing up to tournaments with different partners and they're kind of spreading that talent around, which is really cool.
Yeah.
What do you think makes a good doubles partner besides like skill level?
Yeah, honestly, talking, communication. I know there's different people like, oh, I'm not really a talker, blah blah. I just don't know that you can communicate or not communicate and do well in sports. Like we had to run stairs if we didn't communicate in basketball. Like there, it was always talking. So I think you just kind of have to be like, all right, I'm gonna have to converse, right? And so I think that's honestly the number one thing, not even just in the point, like me, you, but talking like in between points, but mostly talking after points and post tournament and being like, all right, how did it go? What did we want to see done differently? Conflict management and resolution with partners instead of just moving on to the next partner. Like, can you guys actually because you're always going to have conflict. So I think that's actually probably the most important aspect of partners. What do you think?
Yeah, so I think communication is very important, but I think it's how and what you're communicating, right?
Okay.
So you had someone on your Q&A live streaming session last week, and she was talking about like her partner like giving advice the whole time, or
Right.
she was being judged, right? So I
Right.
think it's how you communicate. I think the first thing is like honestly having a pickleball partner is like being in a relationship with someone.
100%.
It really is. So
And it's so weird because you're like, it's just pickleball, but it's like,
right.
no, this is like relational stuff.
Yeah, this is relational stuff. So I think like first and foremost, like you have to because there's some people who are super communicative, which means they maybe give a lot of information. Maybe that's the only way they communicate. Or there's some people that just want to give advice all the time, or they see strategy, or they're maybe they see something that you're doing that's like not fundamentally right. So they're telling you like in the heat of the moment, like don't lift up or don't do this. Or there's some people that are like, I don't even like when you say your ball or my ball in the middle of a point. So I think like
That's
the first
crazy.
thing is like the spectrum is so big on
Yeah.
like what people like when it comes to communicating. And the same thing with the relationships, right? So I mean, I think the biggest thing is like just talking to your partner and figuring out like what they like or like how they want to
Right.
be communicated. Kind of like finding out your partner, like in your relationship, like what's their love language.
Yeah.
Almost trying to figure out like how do they like to be communicated? Do they like you to focus on strategy in a game? Do they need the affirmation? Do they just want like paddle taps and good eye contact? It's like figuring out what makes them tick and then like building on that because someone could be communicating very well, but it's just not being received well
Right.
on their partner side.
Yeah, and I think like communicating well depends. Like if you're communicating well, it means you're communicating in that partner's like chosen way to be communicated to.
Right.
I think there's like a black and white way to communicate, right? But and communicate well, I mean. But I think a lot of it's gray. A lot of it is adapting and like how people, handle things.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. But
Yeah.
yeah, I just think the biggest thing is like just being positive out there and like fostering a partnership of like open communication. Like, hey, you can tell me anything. I can tell you anything. I'm not going to be offended. Like, I want this to work. So,
Yeah.
like, what can I do to like communicate with you and, capitalize on our success, really?
Yeah, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head with like, it depends on how that person wants to be communicated to because like you can do a lot of talking and like the other person just not receive it well. And so I think you have to adapt. You have to be willing to kind of adapt your communication style for them and then them also adapt as well. Like it takes both. Like, hey, like I need to tell you something. Like, oh, not right now. Well, like maybe I'll work on telling it like communicating that better, but you might also need to work on receiving things at certain times, and like some people actually just can't do that. So you have to figure out for yourself, like, is this a preference or a need? So it's really, it's a relationship. And I honestly wish like, cause I imagine there's a lot of listeners just being like, I don't want to do any of that. And I totally understand. And honestly, you don't have to, but if you want it to go well, you will have to. I think you need to be ready to just not perform suboptimally and like be willing for partners to be like, hey, like I'm gonna go find someone else or just not take it as seriously. You're gonna have to adjust your expectations if you don't want to communicate.
Yeah, and I think you got to go through the hard times. Like you
Sure.
can't just think the grass is always greener. Like you play a tournament or two with somebody and it maybe doesn't go well. Maybe you're not communicating with them effectively, and then you just get up and move on. Like I
Yeah.
think the best partnerships they go through hard times together, just like relationships. You go through hard times, you figure it out, you communicate well, you figure out how they want to be communicated to, and vice versa. Then you get through it, you build and grow together. And I think that's the main thing is like don't be stressed out about it, but like put in the effort to at least like try to adapt and figure out what makes them tick. And then yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I was trying to figure out the other day. I was like, why is this so different from all the other sports out there? And I realized you're stuck on a team
Yeah.
in every single sport. This is really the only sport that you can switch teams, right? So like even at a high school level, if you want to play basketball, football, your school has one team. Like that's it for you, right? I guess you can kind of switch if you pull some shenanigans or something. But
Right.
even within like tennis, you don't have to play. There's not one team at your high school, right? There is one team, but there's multiple partners within that team, right? And so you can just like switch, and that's why, like at basketball, I didn't worry about how I communicated, or like I should have, but I was playing high school basketball. I wasn't worried about any of that. I'm like, why is this such a big deal? Recreation, like this is rec sports, but that's why is like it's so easy to switch partners.
It is. It's so easy. But yeah, I just think go through the hard times with them and figure out how they like to be talked to.
Yeah,
I mean, at least you should be able to handle strategy. I understand people saying, "Man, like you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong." Like that'll
personal feedback.
anybody's head. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
if they're hardcore like on strategy, like, hey, they love the drives and they're blasting all of our drives back and making it super hard for good fish shots. Let's drop. I mean, no one should be offended by that, I don't think. But
yeah. I think the hardest one for me is like playing with partners that don't communicate at all between matches and then like post tournament. It's
yeah,
like it's like
they're
I don't
shutting
I don't know
down.
how to I don't know how to make like I don't know how to get better like at pickleball together if we don't talk about those things, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm not like even let me know you're tired. Like that lets me know I need to take more of the court,
right.
right? Like if I'm not tired, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We
It is
we
how to
beat
get
this one.
peop Yeah, it's how to get people out of their head. Like, I've dealt with that too. It's like, how do you there's this one time I was playing mixed and, solid team, a very solid team, and we got beat 7-0, and my partner, like, shut down, like
7-0.
7 games to 0 games
Oh,
in a 2-hour stretch,
gotcha.
and, I mean, high level team here in Indy, and I tried to stay positive. My partner, like, shut down after, like, 2 or 3 games, and it was just the last hour was just, like, brutal, and, like,
Torture.
there's nothing I could do to, like, get this person out of their head, and I, like, wanted
Yeah,
to. I wanted but they're so, like, in their head, like, about they're playing bad, or maybe they're annoyed with me, or maybe they feel like we're not giving the other team like solid games and we're wasting their time. So I just think like at the end of the day, whatever you're feeling in that moment, like your partner wants to win with you and succeed. So like I think it's just better off like talking through it at
yeah,
least in between matches and being like, hey, I'm sorry, I'm super nervous right now, or I just feel off. I need you to, this next game, I need you to cover more court or whatever that looks like. So,
yeah, for sure.
so what do you think about like the third shot drop? Is it overrated? Should I drive the shit out of every ball or should I drop it?
Yeah, I think one of my biggest pet peeves, I don't like having pet peeves, but I do have to admit I have at least one, is all these YouTube videos that are like, the third shot drop is dead. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, the clickbait. Like in our AI I use to like help me facilitate like all the content is like, don't do any clickbait. And it's not like virtue. I'm not saying I'm virtuous or anything. That's just how much it annoys me. So third shot drop is not dead. If you watch the pros, they're driving. I don't have the exact stats, but when I watch, and I watch a lot of pro film, it looks like they're driving and dropping at either a 50-50 rate
I would say that.
or the pros are dropping 60-40. So
I agree.
60 drop, 40 drive. And so no, I think you got to keep dropping. And I mean like when you drive, are you just like I don't know if anyone ever thinks about this. When you drive, are you just going to keep driving? Like drive the
Right.
third, drive the fifth, drive the No, eventually you drop. Like unless the point's over. So if the drive sets up the drop, is the drop ever going to be dead? No way. Like I mean, I can't predict the future, but it's not going to be. It's not dead now. Let's just at least put it that way. It's not dead now, and I wish people would quit talking about that. Then like they call it like something like the drip, like
Yeah.
it's in between a drive and a drop, and I mean that's like cute naming for sure, but it's just a top spin drop. It's
Right.
just a top spin drop with a little bit more pace on it. That's all it is.
Yeah. A little less pace from a drive, a little bit more than a drop.
Correct.
It's a great shot, especially if they're like kind of slow coming up to the kitchen. Then you can get it right at their feet.
Yeah, I only drop topspin now. So, the drip, right? So, I just think it gets you up in one a lot of times
Yeah.
because like getting up, typically it's going to take at least two unless the return was bad. You're really close to the baseline and you're able to hit that third and just move up. Typically, it's going to take two. That's why deep returns and hard returns are so important, but mostly in this scenario, deep returns make people get up in 2 shots. You're doubling the chance that they will make a mistake, right? But if you hit a good top spin drop and your partner can notice it and goes up and crashes, they defensively on that fourth concede the kitchen a ton because they can't deal with the pace.
Right.
And so I think it's super important. The only time I would backspin drop now or slice drop is off of a fifth, off of a third, or the return was so fast and so low. If the return is super fast, that means it has to be low. If it's high, it's going to go out of bounds. So super fast return that's super low, and you can't get the paddle under to really generate that topspin, then I would slice drop.
Yeah. Something when we played last week that you were saying is, I've been kind of, as of recently, I'd say the last like 3-4 months, like basically crashing on everything, any third. If it's a drive, if my partner's hitting the third, I'm crashing. And I'm not really looking at, I know what they're going to do if they're going to drive. So if I need to like apply more pressure in the middle, of course, if they're driving, if they're dropping, I'm still going to be there, but like kind of anticipate more of a higher drop just in case. But something that you said when we were playing is like, instead of me just like running up there and crashing on everything, you wanted me to kind of look at the trajectory of your ball, right? So what's your thoughts on that? And like, well, we know your thoughts, but like, why did you give that piece of advice?
Yeah, because I think there's like really 2 sections here. If you're telling me, hey, I want to get better at crashing, just crash. Like every single ball, every single time, for the most part. I'll asterisk that and come back to it. But yeah, just crash. It's fine. No big deal. If you're asking about the right way to play it, I'll tell you what the pros are currently doing, and then I'll tell you, I'll put an asterisk on that too. So what the pros are currently doing is they really only seem to crash, and I'm talking about like the top 4 teams, maybe top 6. They only really seem, let's go top 4. That's really all I watch. So they only really crash unless they have an advantage. Person's really late to the line, the return is short, they're unwinding the stack, right? So they're actually going to be a little later potentially, and they're crossing their partner behind their partner's back. So the ball's hidden from them for a second. They're on the move laterally, right? So those are times that they will crash. Other than that, I don't see a ton of crashing except for maybe from Gabe. I mean, he just, every time Ben drives, who does?
Anna Lee likes to crash.
I don't watch mixed. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a caveat. I don't know what they're doing on mixed. I have no idea. So why don't you talk about that? What are they doing on mixed?
Anna Lee crashes all the time from the right on Ben's drive or her drop. She's always applying pressure, and she'll just like run across the court with a 2-y backhand and just like mess up anything high that's coming there. And, I see 2 points. I get stuck sometimes where like I'm crashing, my partner's ball is a little bit high, and then I just get it right at my feet and I'm screwed. There's other times where like I'm crashing because most of the time, like at our level, my partner's hitting their drops like 85% of the time. So like I'm okay with that 15% of the time, like at us losing the point, because I feel like at the end of the day, like that pressure I'm applying, like that just shortens their room for error, right? They see me in their peripheral. They're not going to come at me, and they're going to be a little bit more tight, hitting it back into the kitchen to my partner or whatever they're doing. It just creates like them being a little bit more tight. So that's why I've been doing it more. But I think at a certain level, like when you get to the pros, like, it's probably not as effective.
Yeah, but like, where's the game going though? Like, is it not effective, or is it they're just haven't realized how important it is quite yet, right? So I think you should crash every drop every time as long as it's on the right trajectory, because your pressure does a bunch of things. But let me clarify that. When your partner's about to hit a drop, you just watch the height. Yeah. If the height is a good height, that ball is either in the net, so who cares if you crash, the point's over, you can always walk back. No harm, no foul. Or it's going to likely be in the kitchen, which is a good drop and you can move up, right? Or they're going to take it out of the air, but they're not going to be able to punish it, and you might be able to like poach it, right? So you're creating a ton of pressure. You can get a poach opportunity. That's one. Two, you funnel the ball, right? So like you cut off 60% of the court, like half, but you actually cut off about close to 60%. Two, or three, now we know where that ball's going. It's not coming to me. My partner can get ready, and he can get ready, or she can get ready to drop, right? Or drive again, or they at least know the ball. We know where the ball's going. We've shortened the prediction, or we've shortened the outcomes, right? We know where it's going. Then that person has to hit the ball a lot more softly, right? And not as high, because I might poach it. And then so my partner gets a better ball, right? Then you've got the pressure of hitting the ball in the net, like trying to keep it low so I don't poach, so they hit in the net, trying to keep it away from me so they hit the ball out of bounds, right? Trying to blow it by me so they hit it out of bounds baseline. So like those are so many benefits. Why wouldn't you crash? You would only not crash if the ball is going to be bad. And so that nullifies it if you watch the third. If you watch the third or the fifth or whatever it is, we always do it on third, obviously. If the height's good, go. Because the benefits of pressure that I just listed are way too numerous to let go of. The only question is on the drive, because you can't gauge the drive fast enough, right?
Yeah.
And so on the drive, I think it depends on what level you are. But if you're playing with a partner that hits consistent drives, meaning they hit them with relatively good pace, 6 inches over the net, I would crash probably every single time to at least learn. If you're in a tournament situation, I would only crash if they have an elite drive where it's 6 inches over the net every time and drops and has a ton of pace, or it just creates a lot of issues because the times that they miss are going to be outweighed by the times they hit a good ball, right? And so you're going to get a couple balls in the face because they left the ball high, right? But the pros are going to outweigh the cons because you're going to get way more balls that were really good and you can poach and win points. That's the way I think you should play it, tournament style, like you're max efficacy, right? If you're trying to learn, I would just drive I would crash every single time. And really, your partner needs to be hitting to the returner. So if your partner hits high balls, or you can't rely on them to hit the returner consistently, and you're having to choose between two people to like actually poach off of, right? That gets complicated as well. So don't do that in tournaments and stuff. But in rec, I would crash every time. I'd watch the returner and see if they move, like it's called threat detection. So do they move their paddle kind of like this, like everyone does, like when a ball's coming by them to the middle, and they're just putting their paddle out there, but it's their partner really swinging? Or are they the ones really swinging? A half swing, like a check swing, looks very different than a full swing. So now you can start to coach yourself, like who's got the half swing? It's not them, it's the next guy. And then you threat detect over and they've got the full swing, right? So it helps you actually like get your vision where it should be. A lot of benefits. Going on kind of long here, but I think the reason that Anna Lee crashes, the same reason Gabe crashes, is that Ben has an elite drive. So I did a lot of stats with him. He hits the ball. He drives about 50 miles an hour from baseline to net. And then that's, other people can do some measurements. That's the measurements I came up with. And everyone else is hitting around 40 miles an hour. So I think placement is way more important than pace, but in that case, he has good pace and placement. So I think, because I don't know Anna Lee, but Anna Lee's game very well, but I'm sure she can handle herself with hands extremely well. And Gabe can too. Like when Gabe gets a crash ball, I'd say he wins like 60 to 70% of the time. So that's why they do it. But that's why I was specifically talking to you about it, because like I wouldn't crash every single drop. What you do is you get about a step ahead of the person hitting the third, and then you look back and you watch that ball about halfway to the net. And if you can tell it's on a good trajectory, just follow your momentum and keep going. But if you can tell it's a little high, you have enough time to check your first step, right? And then start backpedaling. Okay. And so that's like the best of both worlds. What do you think?
No, I agree. I think I get caught up sometimes crashing just on everything. And I think we're fast enough to look back for a quick second, see the trajectory, and then go from there. Because there's so many times I wish I could have just been back and like just been in a ready position and reset the ball, or just quickly reset it, or hit another drop from back there, or drive. So I mean, no, I agree. And I mean, it was good advice, because I've just been so focused on crashing for months that it's like, take a step back and like look at your partner and see. So
but I would look back, and if you see them starting to wind up for a drive, I would just go for practice. In
Okay.
tournaments, you need an advantage. They're unwinding the stack, they're late, short return, whatever. But and for practice, I would just go and just learn and just figure it out on the job.
So you said Ben's like really good at placement on his drives. Like where do you recommend placing drives?
Always to the returner, unless the non-returner is crowding and trying to protect the returner, right? And he's leaving the sideline open, and it's got to be your side, right, down the line. Like it doesn't work if down the line is on the other side of the court, right? So let's say, like, for example, you're the right side player, you're returning to the left side player straight ahead of you, right? And then the right side player on the other team is crowding the center line to kind of protect the left side player. Well, you can't go down their line because you're not on the left sideline, you're on the right sideline.
Where do you recommend placing the drive? So you
That's
were
right.
saying the returner, but like
Yeah, yeah.
where on their body, would you recommend placing it?
Yeah. So on their body, this is a tough one. I still am working on figuring that out. Chicken wing is always a great option. The problem is the chicken wing is so small. And it's just difficult to find from that distance. It's difficult to find in volleys where you're 14 feet away, but here you're what, 22 plus 7, you're almost 30, you're 29 feet away, you're almost 30 feet away. It's gonna be really hard to hit that chicken wing, but you can go for it. Avoid the forehand. I think, like, you just stay away from that thing and avoid the body, because the body is the sweet spot for the backhand. So avoid, and so I guess you can hit the forehand, but you need to hit the space. Make them extend out,
Yeah.
right? And then when they extend out, less control, less power. So extend out on forehand or backhand or chicken wing, I think. What do you think?
Yeah, I like to go for the right hip. I mean, a lot of people sit backhand. So I try to like catch them either on their right hip or their forehand, because they'll probably do something like this rather than move their whole body and do this.
You find
So
a lot of people on transition defense, they sit backhand. I think a lot of people sit backhand when you volley, but you've noticed it from the baseline when you're driving.
I would say if they're established at the kitchen,
Okay,
they sit backhand. If they're
interesting.
running up, I mean, it just depends. Like a right side player is going to be more prone to their backhand, and then the left side player is probably going to hit more forehand, because that's such a narrow margin to hit the left side player's backhand if your drive isn't like perfect.
Yeah,
Uh,
interesting.
so yeah, I mean, I try to go to the right hip. I've been loving the middle recently, especially like I always try to test the middle on like new teams
Yeah.
to see how their communication is. Is the person on the left, the person on the right, like when they're running up, is the other person like covering the middle? Are they looking back? Are they like,
Yeah,
I've been messing with the middle, and the middle's been working pretty well lately.
I always forget about the middle, which tells you there's a little bit of a deficiency in the targeting part of my game. I just haven't worked on it a ton. I've just been working really a ton on good footwork on my third shot drive and good mechanic, and so adding in the target's like really difficult. But when I was targeting, I was seeing a lot of improvement in that, but I always forget about the middle. Yeah, middle's great. Middle's great, just because of what you said, the communication. So many middle balls go through because someone's afraid to touch the ball.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you drove a lot. Like, I mean, we haven't played much with each other. I mean, but I always remember you were driving the hell out of the ball for a while. And then we played last week, and your drops were money, dude. They were very good. So
Thanks, man.
must have
Yeah,
been definitely working on them.
Yeah, I've been just, like I said, just trying to hit that top spin. And then, like, one of my favorite things to do is to hit top spin to my side of the sideline, because it kind of, they have to concede the kitchen. And then if I can tell it's a really good one, I crash about halfway and then kind of stutter step a little bit to see if they're going to put it up on the sideline over the net so I can Ernie it. And if I see them going for it, then I'll go and Ernie it. I did that today. And then, like, when I set up on the other sideline, you got to be careful because people can Ernie yours if you leave it high enough going across court, going diagonal on the third. But if you can hit that one, your partner should be able to pressure, and they don't actually have to be on the move, right? I have to be on the move to go get mine because I'm dropping from the baseline. But if I'm dropping and you're watching my drop, you're already halfway there. Then when you see it's good, you can go the full length and you can be set. So if they do try to go, straight across, you can Ernie it. So I've been liking that. But yeah, I've been dropping a lot. It honestly just depends on what I feel like's not going well that day. And that's the thing I'm going to do.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did Ernie a bunch in our game last week, which is good. What are your thoughts on rec players doing Ernies and ATP? Should they be doing it? Should they be focused on it? Not focused? What do you think?
Yeah, the reason I'm doing Ernies so much is because they're free points. You're going to, if you execute it correctly, meaning you get a good jump, you read the ball, it's there. You're going to win those 90% of the time. So, like, if you're ever watching film back of yourself or you notice it in games, if someone goes over and you didn't read that ball, you could have easily won that point. That point was winnable right there.
Yeah.
And so I think honestly, like, people leave like 2 to 3 points on the table a game. So if you think about it, if you Ernie and you serve, you win the point. If they served, right, you keep them from getting a point. So a lot of people don't think about pickleball like that. Even though you don't win a point, you prevent a point, and that's a swing. That's a point swing, right? So I would say 6 is probably a little aggressive. I would say, no, I'll stick with that because the ball just goes over your side constantly. And right side is a lot harder to jump than left side, but you can learn how to jump right side. And so that's why I Ernie so much. I definitely think recreational players should be trying to Ernie and should be trying to ATP at a certain level, right? And honestly, as much as I've coached now, I've just gone way more toward try stuff. Just like don't be reckless. Like, don't just lob front, like your third shot lob. That's wild. But like things that that you'll need to do eventually, go ahead and like start working on the skill now. So yeah, definitely think you should Ernie. Definitely think you should ATP.
Yeah, Ernie is, I think I never Ernie, but I'm going to start doing it. But I think one thing it really would help with is just anticipation. Like, if you are that dialed in your pickleball game and you're anticipating like setting up your shot, like if you have an aggressive dink or your partner had an aggressive dink or that other person was out of position, so likelihood of them resetting middle or going back cross court, in your mind you're anticipating that they're probably just going to go straight down the line with maybe a little bit more floater. So I think gaining those anticipation skills just by focusing on Ernie will help your other games and combos and stuff like that. So I definitely would agree. It might look awkward the first couple times, but just do it,
Yeah. I mean, that just goes back to like how people learn. People learn by putting in like peak. This book talks about it. Peak, basically peak performance science behind Outliers, the book Outliers. But I'll try to remember to put a link to it in the show notes. But we'll see if that happens. Because I'm a one-man crew. But it talks about like you have to have near maximal effort when you're practicing. And like these rec games should be practice for you. And near maximal effort is like trying things that are really uncomfortable for you. I promise you, if you try to Ernie 10 times that day, the next time you go to the court, you'll be able to do it a lot better.
Yeah.
And so you just got to get out there and try, like have the balls to try it. It's hard. Insecurity and ego both like play a massive factor in that, but just go try it. Like try it. That would be my recommendation.
Nice.
Awesome, dude. Well, thanks for jumping on today. I think we're going to kind of end it right there. And with that being said, as always, if you guys have any questions you want us to break down on the podcast, make sure you guys head over to pickleball.lab.co and join the lab for free. We have a dedicated section inside the community where you can leave your questions, and we'll be sure to answer yours on the show the very next week. And while you're there, check out the courses, coaching, and community we have to help you grow your pickleball game. If you have enjoyed today's episode, make sure you check us out and subscribe on Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts so you never miss a session. And if you have a second, leave us a 5-star review. It really helps us reach more players and grow the game. And with that, we'll see you on the pod next week. See you then.